Welcome, welcome, my lovely brothers and sisters, and with gladness I am presenting to you today the second part of the Nano Chondria Stargate fusion presented by Sabrina Wallace. So it is a video share, and I give some comments when it's needed to give a comment. So let us dive into this. It's very interesting. Yesterday I have presented to you part 1, and last night I got this message and urge to also share with you part 2. For those who cannot find this series, I will also do them part 3 tomorrow, because this is a very important information to get to know. And again, on my website, which is mentioned in the text box, which is baruchababashemyahuwah.net, that website, go to the tab known as Shorts, scroll down, and then you will eventually find this playlist of Sabrina Wallace and find yourselves these videos so that you yourself also can watch it in your own time and own pace. There's a lot of information that this lady is presenting. I also have added her channel link of Odyssey so that you can go to that channel of her too and start investigating yourself, and in actuality, what I better can say is start inform yourselves about what is truly going on with us, with the human races, with all life forms on this planet. And yeah, it's about time, my lovely, beautiful brothers and sisters, to inform yourselves that technology is far more advanced than they make us believe. They already have us, according to the information of Sabrina Wallace, we are already since 1995 attached to a cloud. And so this explains also why we see what we see in the world. Nothing is happening at random. They are instigating all sorts of havoc and mayhem to distract us, to keep us busy with bread and circuses, and to make sure that not much people, so not much of us, will inform themselves and take the time to use their precious time to inform themselves about the technologies, about nanotechnology, and about what is truly going on with the human race. Because as we can see, there is a lot of zombification going on. There are many, many, many people who we see completely sucked into their mobile phones and are having a lot of difficulties to set themselves aside from it, to detach from it. How come is this? Why are these people having so much difficulties to detach themselves from these devices? I already have come to notice that these devices are remote controllers and through which they can control the human mind, the human biofield. And it's about time that we start to see this machine with different eyes, and it is in actuality a weapon and not as what has been told to us. The echelon people, they have lied to us for a very, very, very long time in many ways, shapes, and forms. And the technologies that they are using are already far more advanced than they tell us. We are working in actuality with the leftovers, and they have presented this to us as very advanced. The computers, the tablets, the what do you have? Laptops and whatever that we are working with is not really new and are already outdated. They already have behind closed doors very advanced technologies. We also should ask ourselves the questions: why is it that they keep everything in secrecy? Why is it that they have all of these conferences, such as the Bilderberg conferences and so on, so on? Why are these conferences always behind closed doors? And what are they truly discussing with one another? So let us dive into this very important information. Let it all sink into you. Um, and I just follow what I get from the source and creator of the living light and life that is showing me what it finds important that you get to know. He cares about you. This source cares about us. And it truly wants us informed because it knows that many things are being done to keep us away from this very important knowledge. So let us dive into this. I go change screen. We go to screen share and I will start the video. It is a 46 minutes counting video. So let us begin.
Toward location-aware, in-body terahertz networks. Okay, that's the one. 2021. And let me see if I can blow this up. There we go. So what you have, what they call network controllers here, that is your software-defined metamaterials, because they show haptic ears and you're wearing smart clothing on the one side, and on the other side is your body and under your skin. The nanonodes are passively flowing in the bloodstream. Energy harvesting entities are local.
Why? Wow. I mean, she's saying energy harvesting entities. Okay, I want you to think on this question and ponder upon this question. How come that so many people, for at least a decade at least, are complaining about exhaustion and extreme tiredness? Another question to ponder upon. And please ask the help of the Holy Spirit and the Spirit of Truth in having these questions answered. Um, the second question I'm saying to you here is, Are they creating an environment here on Earth that makes it able that all these energy life force sucking entities, parasites, and what else you have can survive? Three. Third question you can ponder upon. Why is it that so many sci-fi, so-called sci-fi movies and teleseries are very into the topic of parasites? Why is it that so many people are complaining that they have things in their eyes and um, this is called in what is it called in English? I don't know anymore, but there are parasites in people's eyes, and a lot of people are complaining about this. Could this also explain the reason that we see so many people having eye problems, wearing glasses? I see a rise of people wearing glasses. Okay, these are questions you can ponder upon. Ask the Holy Spirit and the Spirit of Truth to help you um, with this, and let's continue. But this is very interesting information. Yeah? So, we are dealing with entities that are, in actuality, responding to these frequencies and vibrations um, and resonance that makes them able to penetrate in our body to suck us dry from the life force energy. Let's continue.
So that they can communicate to the internet. And then it's targeted drug delivery and the nanonodes, because they show haptic ears and you're wearing smart clothing on the one side, and on the other side is your body and under your skin. The nanonodes are passively flowing in the bloodstream. Energy harvesting entities are localized so that they can communicate to the internet. And then it's targeted drug delivery and precision AI healthcare. Your network controller is a localization of the nanonodes. Like I said, the terahertz radio is short range, omnidirectional, and this is where the functional ultrasound will hit you and shake your cells open or closed with the corona effect, so that the terahertz can then open the cell by making it like more like a sponge, a little more porous, and then it communicates either biochemically, electrically, to the nano that's already flowing through your bloodstream.
To the nano that is already flowing through our bloodstream. This nano is already coming from our food, air, and the water we drink. Lovely brothers and sisters, I've said this yesterday in the video share too. Our food industry is already tremendously distorted. They this nano, I call it nano shit, is already added to the food since 1960 and 1970. So what I also know, and this information is coming from several sources. One source is Tony Pantelleresco, and he also says that the water is already since mid 50s, begin 60s, contaminated with nano silver. So we are already having a lot of nano things in our bodies and thus in our bloodstream.
And the software-defined metamaterials localization anchors, because it just sits on your skin, talking back and forth until it gets the job done with that intra-body networking. That's why it's called Wake Up Radio with Ultrasound, or Terahertz Radio. And the energy harvesting nanonode on the top there with a network controller, well, that's based on your body area network. That's what BAN node, body area network node, that's what it stands for. Okay? So that's bad enough So your ultrasound wake-up radio, the control of the waves, and beam steering with the terahertz, the response that we want to get out of the nanomaterials, well, that's easy. We've all seen the terahertz video, haven't we?
Terahertz, so they are attacking us with frequencies on daily basis. And that is also why, and one of the reasons why your router needs to be in-home, indoors and not outdoors. This is also one of the reasons that they are developing and already have developed and have in use these Wi-Fi bulbs and all these LED bulbs. LED is, I think, from beginning 2000s. And so there is a reason for all this LED, this LED lights and light bulbs, which contain a high amount of, what is this? Quick. But anyways, everything that is developed the last 30 years is all playing into this system. Yeah. So the modern day light bulbs are interacting with your router. Everything is now being connected and is communicating with one another. Let's go.
Should have pulled this one up again too. The missing waves.
Radio waves are long electromagnetic waves, and light and X-rays are short electromagnetic waves. Both are located on the electromagnetic spectrum. Electromagnetic waves already have many popular uses thanks to our ability to produce and control them. But while our current technology can create optical waves or radio waves easily, we lack the means to produce a very useful type of electromagnetic waves located right here between the radio and optical regimes. These are called terahertz waves. At the Laboratory for Nanoscale Electro-Optics, we are experts in the interaction between light and nanomaterials.
All right, hold the phone. I'm going to make you accountable again. What the hell is this? You know, I get tired of hearing about how it's theoretical and it's stuck in the laboratory, and then fraudulent doctors parading themselves around pretending they know things. He said they're experts. So, how old are nanoscale electro-optics? Let's find out. How long have you guys been experts? The field of nanoscale electro-optics, which involves manipulating light at the nanoscale, not nanotechnology, nanoscale under the micrometer, started developing significantly in the 1980s. Oh, well, that makes sense because that's 45 years now of being experts at it. Oh, amazing. With early research focusing on sub-wavelength near-field optical structures, primarily at places like Polaroid Optical Engineering, laying the foundation for advancements in optical record densities beyond the diffraction limit. Nanotechnology timeline, 1981. Russia's Alexei Ekimov discovered nanocrystalline semiconducting quantum dots in a glass matrix and conducted pioneering studies. Let's just go to nano.gov, that place that none of you care to go to. This timeline features pre-modern examples of nanotechnology as well as modern era discoveries and milestones. Yeah, did you know that back in the day with the Lycurgus cup in Rome is an example of dichroic glass? Colloidal gold and silver in the glass allow it to look opaque and green when lit from the outside, but translucent red when light shines through from the inside. 9th to 17th centuries, glowing, glittering luster ceramic glazes used in the Islamic world and later in Europe contain silver or copper or other metallic nanoparticles. Oh, they're just so stupid. No, I think that you people need to start talking about this stuff for what it is, and it's like pulling teeth. No wonder. So in 1981, Gerd Binning and Heinrich Rohrer at IBM Zurich lab invented the scanning tunneling microscope, allowing scientists to create direct spatial images of individual atoms for the first time. Nobel Prize for that in 1986. 1981, Russia's Alexei Ekimov discovers nanocrystalline semiconducting quantum dots in a glass matrix and conducted pioneering studies of their electronic and optical properties. Oh, look, Rice University in 1985. They got nothing to do with biosensors or any of it, right? Oh, oops. They're also the ones involved with the Tesla fluorescence. How quickly we love to forget. They don't know. They've been playing you for the fools you continue to behave as when you do not admit industry and market share. It is that simple. There is absolutely no excuse for any of them. They could have told you. It's big money. That's why they didn't tell you. You're going to have to deal with it so that I can stop having to say it all the time. They lied, is what they do. So nanotubes assemble at Rice University in 2016. And I'm going to shut off the volume here. This is an example of what they're putting in those under your skin via what you're breathing, what you're eating. It's not just the injections. And then from a distance, they fire up an electromagnetic signal and look at her go. Look at her go. She's under an optogenetic signal, an electrical signal, a galvanically coupled signal, and boom, bitch, we are going. We are self-assembling. We are talking to other networks in the body.
So this is already what we are breathing in. So we need to ask questions about what are they in actuality spraying in the sky. Well, not chemicals only. They are spraying smart dust and thus this phoresis thing that they also are then spraying, because how otherwise can we get it? Maybe through the food and the water supply. But lovely brothers, please wake up to all this, what is going on and what they deliberately are not telling us for at least 70 years. At least. So
They're using the nanowire, and sometimes if it's an anthrobot, it can just assemble itself and get busy. That's why they love their graphene. That's why it's graphene healthcare. And they're so excited because they can do it from a distance. All they got to do is send an electrical signal at you that you can't see with your eyeballs, and oh, happy day. So when everyone keeps bothering me going, excuse me, did you tell people the truth about any of these industries that you're using with the human anatomy known as the human biofield? No. Do you understand that your body is electrical? Sorta. Right. So when I tell you that the core of this problem every single time, including for your SV40 and your cesium-137, you're going to be back at the beginning, okay? How are you logging into people's bodies remotely? Oh, she's too woo-woo. Oh, you're a bunch of frauds. You're grifted people. You're still doing it. Check it out. It's changed since the last time we were here. The biofield is a complex energy field thought to organize, generate, and regulate biological processes. The NIH formally recognized the human biofield about 30 years ago. It showed back up in 2015. That's 10 years ago, but they've been working on it a long time. Yeah. And they formally recognized it because they had it in 1908, took it away, and now we got it back in 2015. You used to call it the aura. It's the human biofield. And the reason that we have it there is morphogenetic fields and bioelectricity are moving around in your human biofield. So what we did and what we do is we give you an IP address, a set of MAC IDs, a little data link layer. Oh, yeah, it ain't no big thing but a chicken wing, baby. We got the 802.14 working group or the 802.15 working group. And that's where your biofield went back in 1995. It became formal that they could just log right in and go to work. There she is with the wireless. Not everybody else in the world, it's religious, it's chakras, but to these people, this is surveillance under the skin since 1995, and it's
So since 1995, they are already using this and are already in actuality, without us knowing it consciously, um, penetrating under our skin and are already doing all sorts of things um, because of what we have breathed in. Wow, this is really, I would say, mind blowing that they can mess with you on a distance because of things under our skin.
all legal. It's called a body area network. Wikipedia again. Well, they can change that, Sabrina. You can look it up any way you want. The Wikipedia gives you the keywords in the appropriate year. That's all I care about at the moment.
So we have in the Netherlands a bank card, and that has an I in front of it. So IBAN, internal body area network. So now we know what that means. We of a WBAN, wireless body area network. BSN, which is also a terminology we see on many devices, especially on the router also. Well, that stands for body sensor network. So it is time that we are going to inform ourselves about all these three letter words and start to see what they are really meaning. And then you have the MBAN, Medical Body Area Network.
Because I got to go quick. I have a lot to show you in a small amount of time. So, your near field channel, it's the unified field theory. What field are you near? You're near the human biofield that you lie about. You won't admit that it's anatomical. You don't admit that it's generated by our own biological signals. You don't admit it even exists because we're supposed to be wrapped up in that there aeroplane. This is a huge problem and it's getting worse. People continue to pretend they don't know what they're doing. Then they run out there and scream they have the one and magical cesium-137 answer, not understanding how we actually log into the body with computer networking. And that part I appreciate because I'm not a biochemist. I'm not a biomedical engineer. I hate getting into the way you guys rip up cells and put them back together. But that is what you're doing. I do understand what you're doing because my arena is to make this talk on the internet. That means I have to know its origin, its destination, where it's going, how it's changing. You just get to lie to people and tell them you're waving your magic wand. You're a doctor. How dare you question me? Oh, I don't know. This is a lot of bitching, whining, and bullshitting going on for something that you guys have been well paid for 20 years. Check it out.
We are experts in the interaction between light and nanomaterials. In an important project funded by the European Research Council, we have engineered a family of sophisticated nanostructured metamaterials.
It said European Research Council, not the Illuminati.
Materials that are a mere few tens of nanometers thick, but are able to generate controlled terahertz waves.
So this also means that we need to question also, why is it that they have for a long time and still do pushing to have our rooftops of our homes being filled with solar panels? So why are we pushed into electric cars, electric bikes, and whatever thing that they are wanting us to have? So, brothers and sisters, go ask yourself the questions. Again, why is it that they want us to have solar panels? Why is there a huge sale out of these things? Why do we see so many home batteries and whatever, um, and the push for all these things? We need to make questions.
To activate the metamaterials, we shine ultra-short pulses of infrared light at them, and the waves that come out are the elusive terahertz waves. Importantly, the emerging waves also carry a certain functionality encoded in the metamaterial.
So depending on what the metamaterial is, you're going to get a different response. You're going to get a different way that the cell communicates under the skin. This is how wireless drugging works, among other vectors of getting in.
Wireless drugging. Sorry. Wow, wireless drugging. So they are using specific frequencies and are creating specific resonances that does something to us that makes us drugged. So they don't need pills anymore. This is the modern pharmacia, so to speak.
Into your skin, like a transdermal patch, bio on the skin. And a material is, you're going to get a different response. You're going to get
Functionality encoded in the metamaterial.
So depending on what the metamaterial is, you're going to get a different response. You're going to get a different way that the cell communicates under the skin. This is how wireless drugging works, among other vectors of getting into your skin, like a transdermal patch, bioelectronics. This is how your Fitbit works when it's scanning your body while you're breathing and all the other things. These biosensors use the nanotechnology to communicate with the rest of the internet. And that is what you left out, because nobody has questioned you ever about the HOW of what you're doing under people's skin. And that is why on the channel, we focus on the biofield, because that is what you're doing. You're not using a magic wand. You didn't give somebody a wearable Fitbit. You definitely didn't tell anybody what you're doing. You just went ahead and did it. You told them they were remote viewers while you were testing the body area networks. They lied about the digital twins. You can't have digital twins at Pentagon for 50 years and not have research and development. So when I saw that, I've always warned you all, I am a natural telepath. When I was younger, kids that were telekinetic, they could levitate things, they disappeared in white vans in middle school. And you said, oh, you're so crazy and traumatized. And I'm like, I'm really sorry you feel that way. I really am. You're going to be in massive trouble if you keep doing that. This is anatomical. Psionic abilities, psychic. That is bioelectricity in your neurons. If these people, and no, not Professor Achilles, but the people that deployed all this and made these decisions, transhumanists, if they were not in the way in your interstitium. Before I show you this, what is the interstitium? A network of fluid-filled spaces that connect organs, tissues, and other body parts. You might have heard it from your massage therapist in the way of fascia, okay? All of everything that they're doing is anatomical. Not a bit of it requires you to take a shot, to wear a wearable, to put on a transdermal patch. No. Do you have skin? Well, welcome to intrabody networking and intrabody communication, okay? It's under your skin, and that's why we are constantly bringing up your electroquasi-static paper, body area network, enabling covert body area network using electroquasi-static human body communication. This is the wireless world, telecommunications, no different than your cell phone, okay? And the old way that we did it in the 90s created a big old bubble of electromagnetic energy around you. And that made it too big, because that way your pacemaker or anything else, your phone, who you're talking to, left all this room for someone to sniff packets. So now it's human body communication. They're using you because the human body is electrical. And the 6G is you, because you make the best antenna. Surprisingly, they found that the human body is the most efficient medium for amplifying the wire's ability to collect RF energy, and the human body can act surprisingly as an efficient antenna for harvesting energy in the 6G spectrum, potentially making it a key component, it being your body, in future 6G technology, particularly when utilizing that visible light communication. The body can capture wasted light energy and convert it to power devices, your biosensors, essentially acting as a human antenna. Okay? So when you hear us say, hey, Soylent Green, how are you doing? You are the 6G. It's not a maybe. It's human body communication and computer networking. This is also your pervasive and ubiquitous monitoring for the medical implant communication systems, and it's mandatory worldwide. There are no maybes. We don't have conspiracy theory and information technology. We have white papers that tell us how to make devices work or not, and biological cybersecurity. So there's your skin, the conductive layers below the skin. Why are we here? What is the interstitium? Well, it's that network of fluid-filled spaces just under your skin. Wow, hang on a minute. Let me get you a better picture. Okay, check this out. The space between cells is called interstitium. Fluid in this space is called interstitial fluid. Two major types of solid structures are collagen fibers and proteoglycan filaments, coiled molecules composed of high hyaluronic acid. Almost all fluid in the interstitium is in the form of gel. Fluid proteoglycan mixtures. There is very little free fluid under normal conditions. Oh, they don't know anything about it. No, they just didn't bother to tell you that they're using your human body as an antenna, that they're under your skin with surveillance, and that they've been at it since 1995. It's not your business, it's theirs. And it is a business, I will show you. So here we are in the telecommunications and biomedical engineering industry with Professor Kildes giving a speech in New York City. Okay? This is the Bio-Nano-Things networks for early detection of viruses. No, gotta clean my keyboard. An intra-bio-things network refers to a network of extremely small biological devices, nano-sized, that communicate with each other within a living organism, essentially creating a network inside the body, often referred to as the Internet of Bio-Nano-Things, in the field of nanotechnology and medicine. This allows for real-time monitoring of biological processes and targeted drug delivery at the cellular level. There's no nano. I don't know what you're talking about. No, we know exactly why you don't want anybody to know about this, because there's a cyber or bio-cyber interface involved. There's 20 years of development and deployment involved. You have your Internet of Bio-Nano Things AI system, which I talked about however long ago and said, you're letting the AI grow itself inside of people? Yeah. Yep. So there's your AI nano system, nano sensors. No.
So this is all paid by tax money. So for whom are we working for? For whom are we working for, and for what are we in actuality working for? Day in, day out. Well, for a prison system, death system, that is where all the tax money is being spent into.
Now remember, that just means nanoscale. The actual Anthrobots, Xenobots, nanotechnology, that's a different, well, I mean, it's within the same measurements, but it doesn't have to be that. It can just be nano-sized. And when I tell you that they're using the blood flow of through your blood vessels, the pressure in your veins and arteries, the piezoelectric response of your muscles and your bones when you walk around, yeah, that has to do with human activity recognition radar as well. so that we can watch you walk around inside your house, listen to everything that you say, and log in at any time.
And this is exactly going on because there are many people who experience already for a long time weirdness when they speak about certain topics, that all of a sudden computer is being taken out, is collapsing, or doors are all of a sudden slamming, that a lot of things are happening in their surroundings, and that they ask themselves, what the heck is going on? How can someone know what I am talking about? Yeah, so brothers and sisters, we are already under surveillance because that is what this is telling us. They already know everything about us. So even in your own home, you are not private anymore. So this is really of great concern, and it's not to create fear, but it is time that we start to become conscious about all this.
So when we talk about wireless drugging, this is July 2022. When we talk about all the different ways, the kinetic reaction-based ligand receptor binding mechanism, hang in there. The reason I have to go over some of this again for those of you who don't know better, but it's also for those of us who do know better, because wait till you see what they dropped on the channel, you'll understand. So ubiquitous health monitoring for pacemakers and insulin pumps is one thing, but in the Agenda 2030 goals, that ubiquitous health monitoring is a requirement. It's a requirement for our warfare doctrine, network-centric warfare with distributed or systems of systems. It's required for the Internet of Medical Things. It's required for the graphene-based sensors and health monitoring. Why is it required? Because Greta cried. When the Agenda 2030 goals, these goals are already finished. You're not stopping anything. You're not tearing down towers. And even if you did, you're the tower. Your body makes the best antenna.
So look at this, remote patient monitoring. It's already going on because more and more doctors are having a consult through the computer, telehealth, assisted living, hospital asset management, improved drug management. They are now introducing that they are not treating those injuries anymore if they see that they cannot be treated. Hand hygiene compliance, 2020. What did we saw in 2020? We needed to have hand hygiene before we went into a shop. And there are still shops who having this hand hygiene. So this is all part of, in actuality, pushing us into a behavior that they want us to have in. Chronic disease management, if they do not find it worth it, or worth it to help you further, they can do everything with us now. Behavior modification, this is also what we have seen rolled out in 2020. So what happened in 2020 was nothing more than a gigantic test worldwide to see the percentage of humans that could fit into their system, and could fit into their system of compliance, and in how the political body was able to do behavior modification. So all this news that we saw every second on the television, because a lot of people were completely chained to their television and were watching continuously all these messages from the talking heads, and these people have not realized that by doing so, in actuality, they did behavior modification. because this is exactly what is also described in this 1984 book, where people needed to be on set times behind their television and get instructions. So this behavior modification with the social distance and whatever, um, do not forget, brothers and sisters, that there are a lot of people already completely under a program that needs to help the rest to obey all these rules. So let us continue.
So remote patient monitoring and behavior modification are required because Greta cried. And when she cried, you said, okay, well, let's build smart cities and stick everyone in them. And we're going to redo the atmosphere with a little bit of sensor technology help as well. And we're going to have sensors because they're affecting the epigenetics in the biosphere. We're going to have sensors in everybody. Okay, this is IEEE again. It says Body Sensor Network Care, a secure Internet of Things modern healthcare system using Body Sensor Network, IEEE 2016. And you said it was sorcerers casting spells on them from Hogwarts. That was from your Fraud Ranger. Isn't that nice? You have to keep in mind that anybody right now that you're looking to trust or looking to for mitigation and solutions, if they've worked harder to gaslight you in the last 5 years than educate you, my best advice, turn them off, get your money back, don't go back. Because we're only going forward, and the only way is through. So you have your Internet of Medical Things, and on the Internet of Medical Things, they're using your actual central nervous system as their backbone with that interbody communication. Bingo card paper. The Internet of Medical Things. And let me go up here to the abstract paradigm that will enable that next generation, anything. Yep. Healthcare by enhancing human abilities, human augmentation, supporting continuous body monitoring and restoring lost physiological function due to serious impairments. Future directions in this research area are considered to overcome the existing technical challenges mainly associated with miniaturization, power supply, and multi-scale communications. So whether it's your Fitbit, a transdermal patch, or anything, including the different types of biosensors for your eyes, etc., it's using the...
Because people who wear these lenses, this is already also contaminated with all sorts of nano things in it. So through these lenses, they can also mess with your eyes. But I think it's also with the normal glasses, because they can add nano in everything now. It's even in the clothes. I know this from years ago from a German documentary that they were saying that our clothing is also already, not pure anymore. What I also wanted to say is, see how she is pointing to health, which means that healthcare is not what we think it is anymore. So the healthcare industry is completely changed over at least 25 to 30 years. So if you now end up in a hospital, then you do not know what they are giving you, what they are stuffing you with, and so on, so on. So healthcare industry is completely changed. Notice this. And I truly believe that also the pharmaceutical industry is adding nano to pills and powders and fluids.
Intrabody networking. Now, real quick, hang on. When I say human augmentation, and
I do a quick pause here. I also want to say that we need to think why all of a sudden, since the last at least 20 years, but at least the last 15 years, so many products are carrying nano in them. Why is this? Even supplements. We need to be careful with supplements too. And we need to read the labels carefully because there is also supplements on the market based on piezo. Well, that is even smaller than nano. And the piezo goes through your blood-brain barrier far more easily than nano does. But I truly believe that in the time now, the nano is already in such a way advanced that even nano can penetrate the blood-brain barrier.
You roll your eyes at me and think I'm being hyperbolic. I'm very sorry, I am not. It's right over here, human augmentation for health and well-being in section 3. The governments of the world did it because they want to, and they're well on their way. They're in phase 2. It has market share. Who doesn't want to live forever, have increased attractiveness, enhanced intelligence, okay? And for those of you that are still screwed up and you think I'm just a traumatized adult, the International Journal of Human-Computer Studies, Human Augmentation, Past, Present, and Future, because human augmentation will change what it means to be human. Non-invasive augmentation is possible.
Look, hear what she is saying. It will become into changement of what we understand to be human. So now we get a deeper understanding why they are so promoting dehumanization. Yeah? And everybody is being busy with this whole transhumanism and whatsoever. That's just a part of it, yeah, a piece of the puzzle. So I go a little bit back because this is really important that we get to understand. They are doing their uttermost best to undo us from being human. And they sincerely think that immortal life can be reached through technology. But I think there is a far more deeper and sincere and gruesome agenda behind all this than wanting to be able to live immortal. I truly believe that immortality only can be reached in a biological or a natural way and not through technology at all. So I go a little bit back. What I also want to say is if you discover weirdness in your body, things that you feel crawling in your body, you should ask yourself, could it be that you feel literally things happening to you of which you do not know that they are able to do this on a distance, and that you probably can feel or experience how the nanobots and whatever are working in your body, in your bloodstream. Okay.
Activeness, enhanced intelligence, okay? And for those of you that are still screwed up and you think I'm just a traumatized adult, the International Journal of Human-Computer Studies, Human Augmentation, Past, Present, and Future, because human augmentation will change what it means to be human. Non-invasive augmentation is possible with augmented reality and wearable technology.
Wearable technology. People, you should really question why is it that you are so attracted to wear smartwatches, Fitbits, these things that you can wear to count how many steps you have done over a day. All these apps that they are promoting, apps based on health, so that you can find out if your blood pressure is still okay, how the condition of your heart is, and whatever. Know that all this is being developed for this reason, to make it possible to dehumanize you, to forget that you are a human.
And it ain't new. So human augmentation is a field of research that aims to enhance human abilities through medicine or technology. Okay, so this is your intra-body networking again. Since the invention of direct manipulation and graphical user interfaces, 1963, 1968, 1982, the developments in mainstream human technology interaction have been incremental. They enable to use the tools in more direct, efficient, and robust ways, but the underlying model of interaction is still the same. The notion that a computing device is a tool. More recently, the research focus in this field has moved to mobile and pervasive interaction, including embodied interfaces. Pervasive computing, what you need to know, they're under your skin. So then we can go back to the telecommunications and biomedical industry to what you need to know.
I wanna go to this picture. We see a lot of joggers having these wireless earbuds. Why is it that these wireless earbuds are on the market? And many of these joggers have these things in them, and at the same time they have attached to their arm their mobile phone. So in the meantime, on a distance, then they can screen and scan you and see what happens in your body while you are running, and you are unawares because you think that you are running, that you are working on your health, so to speak. And in the meantime, you are being scanned, your blood pressure is being scanned, your blood is being scanned, and they know what happens in your body during your running. You have no idea that wearing these wireless earbuds and this mobile phone on your arm, that these are helping in registering all this data. And now you get to understand why so many data centers have being built, because all this data needs to be archived and stored. So now we get to know why all this is happening, why all these solar panels are there, these so-called windmills, why the entire environment is being rapidly terraformed in a technocratic landscape where each and every form of naturalness is being, you can say, killed, murdered, ripped away. We need to be more aware. Yeah, we need to do so. Now it's still able. All right, I continue.
They're under your skin. So then we can go back to the telecommunications and biomedical industry to listen to Professor Achildes explain this to you. And he's been busy with this since 2011 in appropriate telecommunications, hospitals, universities, and study with the ITU, the IEC, and the IEEE worldwide.
Including Spain, Finland, Saudi Arabia, and recently.
So let me go to these, the way that the communication theory people may know about electromagnetic communication and acoustic communication. There are usually waves, right? Sine waves and etc. And then also in optical communication.
So immediately when he starts talking, those of you who lie about the human biofield, which comprises our bioelectricity and that cracking of the bioelectric code, the human body is on the electromagnetic spectrum. What does it say on the left? That acoustic communication with the terahertz and the functional ultrasound? Yeah. What does it say on the left? Electromagnetic communication? Yeah. And I said, you do realize that you have electrical and magnetic anatomy. No, that's religious, Sabrina. And I said, no, that is anatomical, brainwashed human. I am very sorry that all these people have got you so messed up, but we've been running radio frequency through the body since World War II, And it would be very nice if everybody could start getting on the same page and stop lying about human anatomy. The human biofield is your electrical and magnetic anatomy. It's not religious, or else all these images that I have sitting here, these systems would not work because they wouldn't have a way to log into your skin unless you put on a wearable, a certain piece of clothing, you call it haptic gear, a transdermal patch, you took a smart pill. But because your body is electrical and magnetic, naturally, by your biological signals that you generate when you walk, when you breathe, when you talk, when you dance, whatever, they measure your human biofield. They keep a database of exactly that human anatomy, and it's called your digital twin. Oh,
The Yuval Harari figure, he said that they were able to crack the human animal. Yeah, well, everybody was laughing at him, and this is not laughable anymore because indeed the human is already hackable.
oh, because I know a lot of you heard of that. So the real problem here was, and will remain until you admit that the human biofield is anatomical. You're logging into the interstitium. You've been working on this since 1995 when you turned off the Stargate project messing with remote viewers. Good job. And so the body area networks are what they've been using with the biosensors, with the 802.15 working group and their BLE Bluetooth and their millimeter wave. And that's where your anatomy, known as the human.
Oh, so now we also get to understand why all of a sudden here in the Netherlands we see now a lot of shops selling devices with Bluetooth on it. Yeah, Bluetooth is already for 20 years on the market, maybe a bit longer, but it was not yet in that sense heavily promoted, or heavily promoted, not heavily, but heavily promoted. Since the outroll of the 2020 scenario, all of a sudden, not long after that, I observed the changement in assortment in the shops, and all of a sudden I saw more and more Bluetooth-based products on the shelf. What I also started to see here in the Netherlands, shortly after the rollout of the 2020 scenario, I saw that many internet cables would be replaced into, what is it, glass fiber cable. They were home by home trying to enforce people into it. I don't have it, but through the glass fiber internet, they can have infrared going through it. No matter if you have it on the internet or not, they can still use that gateway. So I don't have this because I do, as long as possible, resist myself against all these things. And so now we get to understand why all these Bluetooth boxes that every child and youth is carrying with them. If you know that Bluetooth is, if you have that and you put it on, that you have an entire mast in your home. So it is far more dangerous than people think. The same with baby phones. Baby phones are also not not good to use, because through baby phones they can use baby phones also, and baby phones also are operating on a frequency that in actuality is not really healthy for the baby at all. And this I just came to know a few years ago through a woman that was investigating all these devices, and especially the baby phone. And if you have a baby phone in the room of your baby, you have planted an entire um, um, mast, a Wi-Fi mast in that baby's room. So, yeah, I
The
continue.
802.15 working group and their BLE Bluetooth and their millimeter wave. And that's where your anatomy, known as the human biofield, went, because they are going to work. The magnetic human body communication refers to that technology where electronic devices transmit data wirelessly through your easiest antenna, energy-saving antenna, human body. And it's not Kirlian photography, and there ain't no maybes. This is biomedical engineering with the IEEE, transactions on biomedical engineering for channel characterization of that human body communication. And the best you could do is tell them you didn't know where the drones were from and we had an immaculate constellation, and that they should go looking in graveyards for the BLE that you're using to connect, or to use the biomedical connectivity to route all these signals through an unsuspecting person. Because every time we tell people about this, they're like, no, they love us. Nope, they're controlling you with a remote. And now they're in your gut microbiome with college students whose job it is to change your cell structure in and out, because everybody wants to live forever, don't they? We're just going to log in with a little terahertz, maybe use the ultrasound. We're going to wake up those nanonodes on the inside of you. I got to pull the other paper that's easier to see, because this one will blow up for me. Hang on. Looks like little circles. It's hard to see. Hang on a sec. Sabrina, you always say don't use the semantic scholar one. I know, right? You guys going to give me a better picture? Because usually you don't. Nope. Let me look over here. See if I can find my good pictures. Yeah, everything else wants me to describe it to you. And check it out. So, illustrated example of our terahertz-based wireless XR system, AI processing to predict continual and future user behavior, sensing parameters extraction and situational awareness, establishment from their communication waveform. Oh, golly gee willikers.
What's this?
That's still ResearchGate, but this is the one I'm looking for. Turn it on. All right, Semantic Scholar will have to do. So all these little circles here, you have the nanonodes and then their two-way estimation and the way they talk to each other. That's computer routing. We have the software-defined metamaterial anchors on the skin, and then from nanonodes, it goes from the skin to deep body in the communication exactly the way I showed you on the other image. And they estimate the time of which nanonodes need to wake up and wake up radio, which ones that don't. One more time, using the nanonodes passively flowing in your bloodstream, the wake up radio with ultrasound or the terahertz. So the smart meter can target you, a drone can target you, another body area network can target you. You are a walking network for them. So again, that's why myself and Tony the Nano Triangle guy advise, do not continue sticking nano in your mouth, okay? And for those of you that are trying to use what they call electromagnetic frequency pendants, Russell Brand had a $200 pendant. People went to the airport. It didn't work after an hour. Yeah, that's because of what you're looking at here. We spread the signal across the human body. That's why your pendants and such fail after a short amount of time, because we're manipulating Not only the signal across your physical skin, but the interstitium just underneath your skin. And that's constant, okay? So you have your radio frequency, could be visible light communication, you have, or magnetic, and then that's being monitored not only by your body area network, but by the molecular communication around you. And those systems are autonomous, machine to machine. So your pendant, basically your body is trying to negotiate the molecular communication that your cells naturally do. And then you're thinking your pendant is going to protect you, the molecular communication of your natural body in tandem with whatever they're spreading across the surface of your skin, as you can see by the red line here, goes right underneath it or around it. I told you this is intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance systems as well as medical, and you think that by putting on a necklace that you're going to change something? They're using your own molecular communication of your cells. Doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. That's why people went after Russell Brand. They were really pissed off and wanted their $200 back. Well, yeah, because we're dealing with integrated systems that we're using the entirety of the human body for transmission and reception of magnetic and electrical fields that we decouple and with galvanic skin response and the other ways that we manage the molecular communication anytime we want to for security. And that means, like, for example, that's why they got mad at the airport, because they thought their pendant would help them, and it stopped working after about an hour. Well, yeah.
So now you also get to understand why these surveillance portals you need to go through on an airport. It's all with a reason.
Because that electromagnetism and your health and your blood flow and whatever else you're around in an airport, it's very busy. There's a lot of signals. And for people at home, it stopped working after about 4 days. Again, Russell Brand, you can look it up. People were real pissed off because they spent $200 on what they thought was a magic amulet, only to find out that there's an industry here that's rearranging their magnetic and electromagnetic signals under their skin as well as on their skin for molecular communication, which again is mandated by the FDA and the FCC. So that is why we're still going. This is why you cannot continue telling people that the aura is some sort of religious, mythos. Human bodies are on the electromagnetic spectrum, and we only see 0.0035% of it. That's why they're using it. That's why they're using the electromagnetic spectrum to manipulate you, because you can't see it with your eyeballs. Perfect.
And quantum communication, we also have these waves, as you see here. But in the molecular communication, we have really so-called particles, and they diffuse in the air. They just go to, sometimes they get lost, they don't go to the destination, and some of them are sucked as the ligand binding receptor by the receiver. Okay. Now, after this brief introduction into the biology, the question here is, can we create man-made, man meaning human-made, biological nanomachines? The answer is yes. That means we can reprogram these artificial cells via DNA manipulations, and that's called genetic engineering. And that will really help us a lot. In fact, unfortunately, some maniacs in the US found all my work the last 18 years. I'm getting a lot of hatred mail. So my life is in danger. They think that I'm Dr. No in James Bond movies, that I'm trying to manipulate human lives. But it's, I'm not the only one. There are many people working on this subject,
Okay, so don't be threatening Professor Achilles. That's rude. He's not the one that came up with all this. He's just one of the people helping develop it, with all your other people paying for it, going to school and having fun with it. Okay? So can we create man-made biological nanomachines? Yes. Oh, it's genetic engineering. Yeah, I thought we didn't do eugenics, America, or whatever. Oh, where did all your money go? Nano.gov, which is exactly where we are on their timeline. Oh, but we don't know what we're doing. Really? That's just 2016 incredible with Tesla fluoresis, and 2022 incredible, electrocuting you under the skin just a little. So we're making these nano machines. We're putting them inside of people with the help of college students, and we're driving them around with synthetic biology, open language, using our Lego bricks, bio bricks of synthetic biology. So all we have to do is log in, and now we have reproducing Xenobots and anthrobots. I'm going to back this up and show you again. CNN was talking about them in 2021, Tufts in 2021, NPR, and Weiss at Harvard. But xenobots are not as handy as anthrobots. Anthrobots, tiny biological robots made from human cells that can move and perform healing functions, have been upgraded. Isn't that nice? Okay. Again, it would be nice if we could talk about this for what it really is, but for some reason, even though we all paid for it, the transhumanists don't seem to want to explain to everybody that they've been using the sensor technology to augment the atmosphere.
Wow, environmental monitoring. Internet of Things, environmental monitoring, smart cities, monitoring networks, data anywhere, anytime, cloud-based telemetry, digital water. Do I see that quite right? Yeah, I think so. And IP data ledgers, smart sensors. Wow, incredible. And this is all being paid with tax money. So again, for whom are you working? You are working for your own death, for your own imprisonment, for your own false immortality. Immortality is not being reached through technology, totally not. And eventually all this will collapse because if I think and truly believe that eventually technology will reach the ceiling.
Okay, so while all of you got your hopes up and you kept telling me you need to be involved in politics and let's write letters, I told you that's a waste of time. You believe me yet? You will in a minute. It's only going to get crazier from here. So after this went off this morning, and somewhere on the front of the Drudge, they were showing the drones are making it rain with their lasers and whatever else. Do you see Forbes magazine over here to the right? How Dubai is using laser drones to shock rainwater out of the sky? July 28th, 2021. It's so hot.
So that is funny because how many times do we experience that in some area there is rain, yeah, and in the same area but another location there is no rain. So I think this is also already for a long time going on. Our entire environment is completely under control and there is no naturalness of weather. Everything is already under control.
Dubai that the government is artificially creating rainstorms, CBS News 2021. And the United Arab Emirates tackles hot weather by creating its own rain with drones. Sky News 2021. I don't believe in climate change. I don't believe in chemical chemtrails, excuse me. I don't have to believe in it. I can just sit in my desk in my basement and pretend. While you're busy pretending, these people have been using our tax dollars to augment the air, the soil, the food, the pathogens with those same biological sensors that we're using.
So here is again the false idea to start your own home growing, yeah, of your vegetables and whatever. What is the use if the rainwater and the soil is completely contaminated? Yeah, so yeah, you can still do because it's a nice thing, but I already have observed for quite some time now that when I work in the garden, that my skin becomes completely dry, as if the soil is sucking the yeah, you can say the water out of me, out of my hands, and that is weird. This is something I didn't experience earlier. I didn't observe earlier, but since the last 7-8 years, I do so every time if I have worked in the garden, my hands are so extremely dry, as if the soil has sucked out all the water that it out of my skin that it could suck out. So there is something really weird going on. And since the last 10 years, I observed that I hardly like to be outside. It's as if I'm far more exhausted when I have been outside the home instead of in the home. If I go to the woods in, let's say, 25 years ago, when I walked in the woods, I came more or less refreshed out of it. Nowadays, if I walk for 45 minutes through the woods, I'm exhausted. That is strange. And it's also because so many people are walking in the woods having their phones with them. And so there's a field created there that sucks me dry from my life force energy. Because I do not have my phone with me in actuality. 98% of the time, I'm not having all these stupendous devices with me. Okay, let's continue.
In the human body, we are using for disease detection, environmental monitoring, water monitoring, and toxin detection. And Greta cried, so now here we all are. And you guys still can't even admit to your sensor technology. You keep hopping around going, the aliens are here. So, if the drones can make it rain in Dubai, affecting the air particulate, this ain't new. Welcome to Stargate, multimodal sensor fusion for autonomous navigation on miniature mini drones. And I'm like, oh my word. Did we forget already about the nano-sized drones? Of course we did, because we can't even talk about the body itself, the biocyber interface. Why would we talk about nano-sized drones? What would that be all about? Well, what we do is we come down here and it says, autonomously navigating robots need to perceive and interpret their surroundings. Now, we need that. Currently, cameras are among the most used sensors due to their high resolution and frame rates at relatively low energy consumption and cost. Arminos, in recent years, cutting-edge sensors, such as miniaturized depth cameras, have demonstrated strong potential specifically for nano-sized unmanned aerial vehicles, where low power consumption, lightweight hardware, and low computational demand are essential. However, cameras are limited to working under good lighting conditions, while depth cameras have a limited range. To maximize robustness, we propose to fuse a millimeter form factor 64 pixel depth sensor and a low resolution grayscale camera. In this IEEE Stargate work, a nano UAV learns to detect and fly through a gate with a lightweight autonomous navigation system based on two tiny machine learning convolutional neural network models. Those are the air molecules on crack, like your artificial neural networks, telling the drones what to do. Trained in simulation, running entirely on board, and an accuracy above 91%. Field tests are based on the Crazy Fly 2.1. So first, I went to search nano UAV. There's our Teledyne FLIR, okay? But as you recall, that could also be insects. Remember?
Oh, yeah. I have seen these already. A couple of years ago, I was working in a garden of an elderly lady, and all of a sudden I heard a zzz, and it was indeed one of these. I didn't saw this, but I think they already have redesigned it, but it was following me, and it was following what I was doing. And the moment this lady came out, it disappeared. And I have seen this several times in the last 25 years already. One time I was in my shed, and all of a sudden this so-called dragonfly, which was from this size, was almost going through my left eye. It wanted to go into my left eye. I could thankfully avoid it, but I have seen these already.
The Pentagon cyborg insects? Maybe you don't. That would be your DARPA again. Didn't you ever want to know how those cyborg insects from the Pentagon actually fly? They're bomb sniffers. They're here to save us. They're all grown up. Hang on a minute. They're all grown up in 2008. I'm going to make you learn the hard way that when you lie about technology to the good people who paid for it, one of these days, they will be confident enough to call you out and defend themselves instead of curling up like an insect.
So now you also get to know why we are pushed to accept smart meters, and they are already in several places in America, but also in the UK, enforcing people to have smart water meters. People, lovely brothers and sisters, it's about time that you come and step out of your false comfort zone and start to stop having yourselves distracted with bread and circuses and other irrelevant so-called busyness, and start using your precious time in getting yourselves informed about all this stuff. This is not sci-fi, this is real, this is already going on for decades. I have seen so many weird things in my life, and the more I dive into this, the more I get confirmed what it is. And I already have had a situation that was in 2020 on April 21st, not 21st, 27th, sorry, on the so-called birthday of the so-called king here in the Netherlands. All of a sudden that day, at the end of the day, in the late afternoon, there was this drone that was completely hanging in my garden, following what I was doing. And it felt for me very intrusive and very, very unpleasant. And my moron neighbors, they were making a joke of it and they didn't took it seriously, but I knew what it was and it didn't felt right. It felt very intrusive, and you can better have a burglar on your terrain instead of a drone hanging for at least 5 minutes in your garden and following you everywhere.
So here we are. Annie Jacobson's work, it's all of these beetles, and most of the time we see the cockroaches. What about a locust? Pentagon wants cyborg insects to sniff WMDs. Oh, sure you do. Okay. Insect cyborgs. Neuroscience, The Guardian. Motherboard, cyborg beetles. Newsweek. U.S. military is building smarter robots and thinks insects might be key to new AI. Fighting cyborg insects, because we need that. The future of military weaponry. 2008. So, bring you back over here. And you're thinking, this size, and I said, no way. This is huge as well.
Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't go smaller than that. Yeah, they would. I just showed you that. Oh. And what do they use to control their little insect friends? PlayStation remote.
Wow, PlayStation remote. Wow. Yeah. And they already have smaller things. There are sort of programs about nature in which they are confronting so-called wildlife. I think it's just somewhere in a zoo, and they have created a certain space which then looks like a wildlife. But anyways, where they confront wildlife with a robotic lion or whatsoever. So even nature becomes more and more fake. Even nature is being rapidly changed. So every bird that dies off, every natural bird that dies off will be replaced with a robotic bird and other animals that they can robotize. Better said, cyborg animals. Not only cyborg insects, but also cyborg animals. Wake the heck up, brothers and sisters.
We have a bunch of little man children operating these systems, and as you all know, and I'm not referring to DEI, I'm referring to the control and the power that comes with being involved with this type of hardware and software that nobody else knows about, not properly, not at all. So that, in my opinion, between that, the secrecy and the money, is why the people that came back from Afghanistan, etc., they don't say shit about any of this. They all know. Don't even get me started about people playing video games in real time with the way the targeting works. So, here's your Stargate multimodal sensor fusion for autonomous navigation on miniaturized UAVs. Why is this here? It's Stargate. Well, we don't know. Excuse me. Excuse me. Before I switch back to the Nano Chondria and have to take you into sci-fi, you guys have built all of this for transhumanism living forever.
Brain connection maps help neuromorphic chips. In what type of horrific world is this world become terraformed? This is really, I don't have any words for this.
Ever in the digital twin system. None of this is new. None of it. Not a bit of it. It's very old. Very, very old.
So she's saying none of this is new. That's the same that I know. Yeah, you can say intuitively, all the technology that we are working with is not new. So this means that something has happened many times here on Earth, through which they had to start all over again. And this is maybe the third, fourth time that they are introducing all this. So this makes you think about the history of this planet, yeah, and what has truly been going on here. This is all these technologies that the military is working with is not new. Computers are not new, cameras are not new, even the mobile phones are not new. All these technologies that they bring as, ooh, it is so new and so handy, it's not new. There have been resets going on this planet through which they had to reinvent everything again. So ponder upon that question.
Your Stargate project closed up in 1995 after they were done with the remote viewers because they had the digital twin with the body area network. Not a problem. So what is the future?
So the digital twin is already there for 45 years.
Future of science, or does the future of science lie in bioconvergence 2023? Today's challenges call for a multidisciplinary approach to science. Bioconvergence brings together experts, processes, and technologies across biotech, software, and engineering. Public confidence in science and trust in scientists has rarely been higher than it is today. Worldwide, most people believe science is the best path toward a better, healthier, and more sustainable future. We must seize this moment to accelerate scientific momentum. Embracing a multidisciplinary approach to science will be vital to help solve many of humanity's biggest challenges. Climate change that you created and are controlling with weather technology with the sensors.
Exactly.
Chronic disease, which you're inducing in people with all this
Exactly.
different technology causing autoimmune disorders. By disrupting the interstitium and the natural state of the biofield, which is where 80% of your immune system is.
So now you can see, brothers and sisters, that this world, this WEF is in actuality a very criminal organization, and they don't have any good intentions toward any of us. So start disbelieving this entire organization, because this organization has no good intentions toward us, toward um, other life forms such as wildlife, animals, nature, and so on. This is a very dark, sinister organization, and is trying to terraform in a rapid pace this entire planet in their vision. And yeah, this is not, this should not be the way you want to, yeah, enjoy life here on this planet.
And a sustainable supply of food and energy, which are making more plastic and using smart agriculture with drones to grow the food. And I would assume that your insectoids are probably a component of this as well, just to make it easier. I mean, why not? You're using the drone to grow the food. You can make your spinach leaf via MIT. You can call your cell phone. You don't need to be out there on a tractor. We got drones. And you don't have to walk out there and feel plants or anything. You could just log right into the soil with sensors.
Wow. Let this all sink in, brothers and sisters. Let this all sink in.
That's how it's built. It's the Internet of everything. UAV farming. Precision AI healthcare, precision farming. Oh, they're going to take away the vaccines. Oh, they're going to turn off the blockchain, the smart or the cryptocurrency. No, they're not. You're going to get in your smart city once they finish burning down or destroying whatever areas they need to, so that they don't have to pay you more than pennies on the dollars to take whatever belongings you ran away with when they burnt your house down and go live in your FEMA city. Sorry, your Liberty city, your cognitive city. Welcome to Agenda 2030 that's already done. Yeah. And that's something.
Okay, this we have come to the end of this video. I will present tomorrow part 3, the last part, because this is too important to not have this shared with you. It's not without a reason that the source and creator of the living light and life asked me to share this with you. I am from 6 in the morning this day doing live readings, presenting all sorts of information to you. I love to do this. I love to share all this important information with you. And because I know it's of great importance that as many as possible brothers and sisters are getting awareness of what is truly happening right under their nose, while they are only being busy with bread and circuses and with irrelevant life things. Okay, I go out of this screen. I will stop screen share, and all right, and go to the end screen. I want to say thank you so much for listening along. Please go to YouTube, type in Nano Chondria, and you will come to these videos too. But those who have difficulties in finding it, that is why I'm doing this and doing this video share. All right. Lovely brothers and sisters, I wish you a beautiful, joyful day filled with a lot of wisdom, truth, and knowledge, and joy, and also service to your fellow brothers and sisters, as Jesus has taught us to do so. I will leave you, see you somewhere tomorrow. Tomorrow early in the morning, I will start reading, do my daily book reading, and also start reading one of the articles of Randy Green about AI. So a lot to do tomorrow, but anyways, I like to do this and I like to give you this information and I like to hand you this information because it's very important. All right, I leave the stage and let us listen to a beautiful piece of music coming from Ben Sound known as Evolution.